being organized nationally to unite high schools, other schools all across America under a common goal of asking Congress to take action to prevent more gun violence within our own schools. And in this planning process, there's been a saying that's been on my mind a lot, and it goes, "It's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission." I'm here tonight not to ask for forgiveness, not to ask for permission, but because I need to ask for your collaboration on the walkout and to ask some questions. The student body, the parents and the allies of every student participant in this walkout, we need clear and concrete answers to our concerns. There are so far over 170 people signed up to walk out of school on March 14th. How will these students, how will we be protected from threat of danger while walking outside, and threat of disciplinary action after walking back in? We need to know what to expect and how we can work with administrators to ensure that we, the students, are able to advocate for ourselves using our voices and our First Amendment rights. What consequences will student participants face for walking out of school between periods and being late to their following class? What type of security measures will be present for those who walk out to keep these participants safe while being outside the building? And some of the closest mentors and allies to students are their teachers. In this walkout, and in addressing the increasingly prominent threat of school gun violence, will teachers who desire to do so be permitted to walk out alongside their students? Furthermore, going forward, what plans does the school district have to maximize school safety without potentially escalating danger by unintentionally generating an environment of suspicion and fear and bringing more guns into school? And as I stated earlier, I'm not here to ask for forgiveness or for permission. I'm here to ask for collaboration. Some measures for the walkout that I'd like to suggest are closing off Ridgedale for the duration of the walkout to minimize any potential dangers of leaving the school building. It would also be helpful to have some police officers on duty by the closed-off road to further maximize safety. Additionally, I understand that leaving the school building during school hours is not permitted under district policy, and that according to the Madison High School attendance policy, Section 2, subsection B, point 4, quote, "Any student who cuts a class more than once is subject to a minimum of 1 day Saturday detention." I also understand that it is unlawful under the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, as well as the 1969 Tinker v. Des Moines Supreme Court case, for schools to punish students more harshly for missing class than they would for any other absence or tardiness. Because of this, I want to confirm that no student will face a Saturday detention, suspension, or other disciplinary action more severe than that merely for walking out on March 14th. And finally, I want to be clear that this walkout was not organized to oppose this school or the Madison School District. It was organized out of a need to act and to speak up against the public health crisis plaguing every home, every town, every city, and more frequently than ever, every school, which is torn apart by gun violence. It was organized to address the fear that follows the footsteps of every student and staff member who sees another violent threat against a school in the news or in their own town, as a recent letter from Mr. Schwarz detailed earlier this week. Above all, it was organized to activate every student who resign themselves to silent worries and unspoken thoughts, and to give students a call to action that tells them, you can speak up, you can make a difference, you are as essential as any wealthy politician or experienced adult to the shaping of our nation and of our futures. Our movement to promote safer schools will not conclude at 10:17 a.m. on the morning of March 14th, as participants file back into class. It will end when walkouts like this one are no longer necessary, and when the safety of students is not a matter of NRA donations versus human lives. The youth of America are leading the call for safe schools and safe communities, and we are the ones shaping the future. And because of this, our movement will not end until we have formed a future that is free from our present fears and that guarantees the safety of every American from the public health crisis of gun violence.
It made me, a student with no notable actual activism or partisanship, want to finally open my mouth to this. This is the same for about the other 170 kids that have signed up for this petition that Peri has organized. Lives are lost needlessly because one person took it upon themselves to commit one of the most horrible atrocities a person can, Everyone can agree that from any side of the spectrum that there must be something done about horrible events like this, and it has become far too commonplace. There needs to be, there's been more support for this event than there has for any other event that Peri's organized. There are certainly more participants by the time March rolls around for March 14th, given the almost 180 that have signed up at this point. As Peri said, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. We're pleading for not just me, but for me and Peri, but all the other students who feel strongly about the topic to allow us to contribute positively to the world and change our future as the way the motto asserts. We're asking for permission to allow us to advocate against the possibility of the next part of losing classmates with the same faces as everyone I saw on that Washington Post. I value my classmates more than anything, and I'd like the opportunity to express that.
It's not often that we find students who are so driven by something to act upon it and really find a way to have their voice be heard by others. And I understand that there are a lot of obstacles regarding safety and other things with this walkout, but I just think whatever it is, we need to find a way, because when we have our high school reunions in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, we're going to look back and remember what we were able to do. Even if Madison is a small town, and even though it might not be heard by people all across the country, the state, the county, we'll be able to remember what we did. We'll be able to remember the things that we started, the things that we were able to form in our hearts, and hopefully begin on the road to change. So I think we just need to find a way to be able to get this walkout done. That's all I got to say.
So we're in the process of making final determinations. So Mr. Robertson has been away this week, so our intention is to get out specific information regarding how we're going to proceed by the end of this week. And additionally, actually just tonight, the Department of Education released some guidance for schools regarding how to respond. So we'll be taking that guidance into consideration as well. But I want to just pay my respect to all of you students who came out. This has been a long meeting so far. It's kind of par for the course for us. But we appreciate you guys being here. It means a lot. And it's great to see some young faces out here. So you guys got to come out to more meetings.